This month, we come to you live from Northern Ireland. I'm joined by the Belfast band called House of Gael. We talk about blending traditional Irish sounds with a modern spirit, the power of music to celebrate unity and diversity, and how music helped transform their lives after a devastating loss. We'll also hear Calling Me Home, a song they wrote for the Festival of Ireland, returning to Belfast this August for the very first time in more than 75 years. I'm Roberta, and this is A Bend in the Road. House of Gael, take it away. So we always ask the first question to all of the guests is, you're going along in your life and something happens. There's a bend in the road. Mm-hmm. It's something wonderful, something awful in the middle, but it literally changes the path of where you thought your life was going. So can you both share a bend that you've had in your lives?
Funny, we were chatting about this in the car on the way up, and the bend in our life has been the same. So our brother died when we were younger, so around 20 years ago. And for me personally, you know, I was very much on the charge to take music and run with it. But grief has a funny way of stopping that. Grief took away my ability to sing. Oh, wow. And I could listen and enjoy the music silently or, you know, on my own, but I just couldn't bring it to other people. And I think you were similar?
Yeah, very much the same for me. When Gary passed, our whole world ended, and things were never the same again. Right. At that time, I was on tour with a previous band, and things just changed for me. And if it's a bend in the road, that very much was a bend in the road, but also a kind of a halt in the road for us, if anything. So it changed our lives kind of forever, essentially.
Right. Yeah. Because music was such a big thing in your home. So that must have been, and was it the same for your mother and other family members, where it was just like a complete, a death on many levels?
Oh, yeah. And we always maintained our parents were never the same after. None of us were. You know, we have another brother as well, and the three amigos, as we call ourselves, we've never been the same, and their journeys all changed, and the path, went skewed. But it's nice when, you go through your stages of grief, and for us, music helped us, but we just couldn't express how it helped us until now, these years later, when we're able to actually sit and, we've written a couple of lovely songs and, about our journey and Gary and what our life was before then, and how that bend in the road brought a completely new focus. Right. And it's just, I suppose, with age and wisdom and time, that focus gets even sharper. Right. So we've finally made our way back, and we're here. It's a long journey, but we've supported and rooted for each other and pulled each other out of the depths of despair. Right. But yeah, we're here.
Well, that's the ultimate bonding, right? Is when you're, and for your mom too, like just somehow, I find like people are talking more about grief now, as well, which is such a relief. It's such a profound experience, and if you don't find a way to get through, and instead of like being distant from your family and your remaining brothers, you find a way to connect, because music really turned out to be at the core. We just recently showed Hamnet at the library, and we had 95 people at the first screening, and we had to show it again, and the conversations that came from that, and the role of art in literally saving people and expressing something that's paralyzing, unspeakable loss of a brother or child, a parent like that. Yeah. Oh, that's something. Okay. Okay, so the House of Gael, this band. So when I was reading about, I love this story. So this is your mother's cottage, and your mother was Gael, Gail.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
This band is Gael, which is more the Irish spelling. Would you say?
The Irish spelling,
so describe for us this unbelievable experience you had, like growing up in those early years with this music-filled, story-filled cottage and home.
Okay, so the cottage that we had was in Coney Island, County Down, and the cottage itself had been passed down over the years through our family. I believe 400 years old. Is that right?
Wow. Yeah.
So this cottage, it had no electricity. Okay. So our family over the years never, I guess, wanted to put electricity and change it. Kind of walls were 3 foot thick.
3 feet thick?
3 feet thick, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, open fire, toilet outside.
Yeah.
And it was essentially our holiday home. That's where we went for the summers and and breaks and different things like that. But it was the happiest time of our lives. Yeah. We always had friends down for sleepovers. Although there wasn't enough room for everyone, we would have slept on the floor, had toast on the open fire, and we were right by the ocean, so we would have went fishing. The happiest memories of my life. But the cottage itself, it was our mum's special place, and it was kind of almost known as the House of Gael, Gael's house.
Yes, yeah.
Which is why when we started this journey, and reflecting in the songs that we were writing and the stories we were telling each other of those family times, we always went back to the cottage at Coney Island, Gael's house, which are our fondest memories and our happiest times. And it just made sense for us to speak about and write about the happiest times of our lives. So every time we're together, every time we perform, there's always just a memory of that cottage. And just being there and just the memories, listening to the folk songs, listening to the music, having sneaky little bits of whiskey and patching, which is a very strong proof of alcohol that's in Ireland.
Used to be illegal. I think it still is.
It's still illegal. Now, although we were underage and we weren't allowed to drink, it was kind of something that we done kind of on the QT, as you call it. But yeah, very fond memories, happiest time of our lives.
It's amazing.
And we hope that shows in the music that we are doing and the music that we are writing and the celebration that we're trying to kind of
absolutely.
create. Yeah.
And was your mother musical in terms of singing and any other instruments, or how did you all?
No, our mother wasn't musical. She loved music, but it was more our father.
Okay.
He would have played banjo and he would have played the harmonica.
Okay.
Is that that was everything else?
Mandolin.
And the mandolin, So our love for music very much comes from our father, I suppose.
Okay.
But our love from life and things like that,
That's
and
a great way to
celebration
describe it,
is kind of very much from our mum.
Yeah.
Both kind of parents. Our dad was very strict and he was very stern.
Yeah.
And but our mum was the one who kind of brought the lighter side of that. So the contrast of the both parents was just a great blend for us.
Right.
Some say I'm more like my mum. Some say she's more like our dad.
Oh, that's really cool. That's great.
So it's great. Laura keeps us in check. Very much the same as
you
House
said
of
the boss
Gael.
of the band, right? That's what my notes say.
She's
here.
the boss. She's the
heart and
boss.
soul and the boss.
Do you know, the journey up here was maybe only an hour's drive, but I probably get told off 4 or 5 times. So, although myself and our other brother Colin are older, this one's the boss. Okay. Just like Alyssa.
That's hysterical. You need the logistics manager and the
She knows when to put the foot down. But she knows how to have a good time also.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. I can picture the whole thing. I can see it. I mean, and then all of the cousins and the friends you said who would come in. And just hours into the night, right? There was probably
that's exactly it. It just sometimes the thing. Going to sleep at night, it was the sound of the ocean. So when smartphones and things came into play, one of the things that I would have done was downloaded just the sound of the ocean, just to have on my bedside table, just so I could recreate that feeling.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, but it just shows the difference. And I know other people that have the sound of a helicopter, just because
that's comforting.
Just because being from Belfast, we always would have had the sound of the helicopter over us. So we all have our ways.
There's a London 9:48 flight coming down. That is so funny. Isn't something? Yeah.
And I think I find Coney Island was, as I got older, I realised that it was our it was a slice of heaven. It was our haven. Yeah. So during the summer, in the north of Ireland, it's traditionally riot season, which, based kind of as an extension of the Troubles and the Civil War that was going on. And we were very lucky in that anytime riot season as such, the July kind of August holidays, we would be swept away to Coney Island, and you were surrounded by fields. You had the ocean. We didn't see that. Now, as we got older, we saw some things. As you're older and you're nosier and you want to see things. But Mum and Dad used Coney as a protection, almost like a magical protective bubble, because when you were younger, you weren't aware that there was this bad thing happening. Exactly. 40 minutes up the road. Right. And all you could hear was the ocean, the seabirds, and, us carrying on, and Dad singing in the kitchen, and,
So that's something.
But, and often there was a tent put out in the back garden if friends came, and we would, to be fair, it was always the boys. I would bring my friends, and we would try and sleep in the tent outside, and we would try and beat the length that we stayed in the tent to the boys. Yeah. But the boys would creep in during the night when there was a spider in the tent. So, it was just all this kind of camaraderie and competition, and, and if you had to go to the outside toilet, there was no electricity, so you had to go in the dark. So someone had to sing you, or you had to sing your way to the toilet. So the people in the tent knew that you hadn't fallen down a well.
That's hysterical. That's a really interesting safety fun fact. Yep. How would you know? There's no cell phones.
That's it. I know. And even now, if I'm in a dark room, or I will sing until I get to the light switch. Boom, and it's a childhood thing.
Equivalent of texting when you get home. Yeah. That's hysterical.
Or listen for the chain flashing.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
She's made it. She's done it.
She's okay.
Number 2.
I kind of have the summer of music kind of association. So we grew up outside of New York, but then our mother was from Canada, Quebec City, but the English part. But we were, we have Irish and all of the folk music. So there was a show called, and tons of music. Quebec City, it's live music everywhere. That's why this clicks with me so much. And we always had Irish music on. But the Pig and Whistle was a Canadian show, Ontario-based, and I thought it was a real pub, but it was a fictional British pub. And it was just, the musicians were from England and Canada and Ireland, like those 3 countries. But it was just the Irish Rovers. I mean, that's where I learned everything. Then I got into Mary Black and the more hardcore Irish musicians. But we would just watch that show because it was only the one, station. So we were just glued to that every week. And then we grew up singing all of the Irish songs. And I had the harmonica and my mom played it, like all of that. And I could never, ever sing. But it was just so amazing. Like the storytelling and like all of those family members were amazing storytellers. So I just feel like it's like what you're doing is so important. And I wish we had that more in the States. Like the pub singing and some of the bars in New York aren't quite the same as what you're doing here. But, we've been all over in the last couple of days and you're constantly passing these pubs with this song and these beautiful acoustics and people just connecting and laughing and the fact that you all know these stories and these songs from when you were tiny, and now you're writing your own songs, like it's amazing. It's important. It's really important for community building. I think now more than ever, like to sing together, to go to a play together. So so tell me, you have amazing band members with incredible musicians. Tell us all about, because we're playing for our guests here. We're playing some of the songs from your band and live in rehearsals. So tell us about your gang.
So they're. It's funny, it ended up a band of boys and me.
The boss.
That means I can be the boss. And so we have, Gavin and I are on vocals, Gavin's on the baron, and we have Jordie, who is our guitarist. And
the funk master?
Yes, he's the funk master flex. And so he's, he can play the keys, guitar, bass, so very talented lad, and he's very into kind of modern funk and synth. So I'm sure as the band progresses and our sound progresses, you might find a little bit of synth coming into Irish folk as well. So anything is possible. And then we have kind of the traditional banjo mandolin.
Yes.
That we have in there, which is a special sound for Gavin and I, just because Dad used to play them.
Sure.
And I think it's a very traditional sound that you can associate. Obviously, you have your 5-string banjos that you would hear with bluegrass and, you know, country styles. But even the tuning and how different the Irish tenor banjo is just completely transforms the song. And I think it's a very emotive instrument. So we'll have the wonderful James on that. And then we've got Sean, who can pretty much play anything on, you know, in the world. He's our whistle player, and he also plays the traditional hÉireann pipes, which are kind of the Irish version of the bagpipes, or maybe the bagpipes or the Scottish version of the Irish hÉireann pipes, whichever came first.
And how does that look?
Yes, so the bag sits kind of lower. It is smaller than the traditional like Scottish bagpipes, and you can have, you know, the sound pipes that come from the bottom, and then they have the hand pipe. So they can push and they can blow into it, but it's a beautiful, it's a haunting instrument. I find it just it epitomizes kind of mystical Ireland for me when you hear it. So yeah, we've got the pipes and the Irish whistle, and we've all sorts. I know, it's great. So we very much wanted to have the option, you know, we're like the talented lads, the talented people that we've got around us, you know, we can be as traditional, be as folky, be as kind of true to our roots, but we can also, you know, throw a little spice in the pot, you know, a little bit of herb and spices, just to bring folk music and bring our music out to a wider audience.
There was this one clip from you performing at a wedding, I think. It was one of those songs that, like, I had to sit down. It was so haunting and beautiful. You know that?
Is it Grace?
Oh yeah, please.
Yes. So that song was written. I'm not sure if you know the history of that song.
No, I don't think so. No.
So it was written by one of the rebels who took part in the 1916 rising, and in the end, you know, there was the big last fight at the GPO in Dublin, and the rebels were all captured and brought to Kilmainham jail. And this song is the story of one of the rebels. He got to the jail and they were all told, you're going to be executed tomorrow morning. And his girlfriend, the love of his life, Grace Clifford, he requested it. He said, I want Grace brought to the jail, and the song is the love story telling her that I want to marry you. I want my last thing on this earth to be my proclamation of undying love to you. And he explains why he went out and fought, but none of that compares to her, and she will be the last beat in his heart.
Oh my gosh.
So that song, it's very beautiful, and it takes you through that story, and it's kind of, you know, that's, I'll put this wedding ring on your finger, that's his last act of love, and that for me sums up Irish music.
I think about these past few weeks. Oh, will they say we fail from our school days? They have told us we must yearn for liberty. Yet all I want in this dark place is to have you here with me.
you know, it's all about on our wedding day, but it's actually a very kind of low minor dark song, and there's actually a dark thread. It's all about love and loss and grief, and you know, the turmoil between people, but people still listen to that almost as a celebratory song, you know. It's I think it's just such a complex style of music that it can take you on every kind of journey.
That's something.
Yeah.
And your octave, so you're mezzo soprano. Okay, and I know you and Gavin, you have a acoustic stairwell situation on your Instagram. We're gonna add that in the show notes. I'd love to hear that. Like, if you want to describe like both of how your voices work together and your training, and then, you know, it would be so interesting to hear.
I think our voices work well together. There's something that we had only read about recently, which it makes sense now. So there's the blood harmonies, and apparently siblings, or, you know, parents and their children, because of their genetic makeup, the harmonies tend to be warmer, or they fit together a wee bit tighter than a puzzle.
Even speaking, I think,
and that's it. Yeah. You know, the voices, kind of family voices, tend to complement each other, and we had found that, wow, we actually sound all right together. You know, Gavin on the lower harmony, if I take the higher. So, and I studied music at university, and I specialised in world music. Okay. So, I always found it very interesting to learn how people sing, you know, even, you know, in the techniques that they use in Africa, you know, the techniques they use all around the world, right down to how, you know, American voices sing, their tonation, and then right down to the Irish, you know, the sean-nós, which is the sean-nós, should I say, which is the traditional Irish singing, where you would find there's, you know, a lot of lilts and ornamentation and stuff, whereas I bring that down a wee bit to appeal, you know, I don't do as much ornamentation, just to appeal to a, you know, wider audience, you know, the likes of Country Roads and all these kind of more modern non-Irish songs, and then you've been singing, you've kind of a pop background, kind of vocally.
I sang more pop songs, but I was always more of a baritone and kind of the bassier notes. Okay. So I think that just complements kind of both our kind of vocal ability very well. With Laura's kind of lead soprano kind of voice, I think it's a nice gel.
Oh, yeah,
it comes together really good.
Absolutely, that's good.
So it's good.
You know, when we warm up properly.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We have croaky days.
Oh yeah, of course. But it must be fun when you do those videos and you're sitting in this stairwell with these lovely acoustics. Yeah. And how do you choose? You just kind of decide a little bit before what you're going to sing, or you have songs that strike you over the days?
I think it was more for that particular location. That's where I work. That's my 9-to-5 job. Yeah. And I found just the acoustics well, just as I was practicing, and I was locking up in the evening, and just as I was singing, then you can hear that echo. You can hear the acoustics coming through. Okay. So when I was telling Laura about it, we thought it was just nice to go and try one of those songs there. So we didn't necessarily tie the song to the location. No. We just kind of married them both. Right. With kind of loving the songs that we did there. There were both Fury songs that you see on social media there, Sweet 16, which we'll do today, and I Will Love You, both by a very famous Irish band called the Furies.
Oh, of course, yes. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Fantastic band. They have a big part in our life growing up. Yeah. Again, just back to our father. One of the things that we found was on Sundays, the TV wasn't played on a Sunday. It was a day for music only.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So only and it wasn't always Irish folk. It could have been Elvis Presley. Right. It could have been things like my mum would have had ABBA playing. Yes. But the majority of it was kind of Irish folk music, like the Furies, the Dubliners, the Chieftains. Right. Oh, yeah. Paddy Riley, things like that, just real kind of staunch Irish kind of folk trad musicians.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, we had a station, 2 college stations. It's only Irish music from Saturday afternoon to Sunday, all throughout, and again you're on the floor in tears, and then you're up dancing.
Yeah.
It's just like a roller coaster, like you said.
Yeah,
It's a therapist nightmare.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. So, you want to sing now or later or
Whenever.
Yeah,
whenever
that might be a
suits.
good segue. Yeah, let's.
Yeah, if you want. Do you want to do Sweet 16?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
Do you want this mic too?
you want that mic or?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. I'm automatically going to a completely different song.
Just go with whatever.
When first? Yes, it is.
Yes,
I was
you
on the
got
right
it.
song. I tried it
Oh,
myself.
anything. We're all ears for anything.
When first I saw the love light in your eyes, I thought the world held naught but joy for me. But even though we've drifted far apart, I never dreamed but what I dreamed of thee. I love you as I've never loved before, since first I saw you on the village green. Come to me, and my dreams of love that are gone. I love you as I loved you when you were sweet, when you were sweet 16.
It's so pure, right?
Thank you.
It's see, as amazing as all of the instruments in the big band, there is something. The fact that you can do that is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm saying this because I always wish I could sing, but you understand how powerful that is for yourself and for this room and the thousands of people, right?
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I hope it reaches people the way we want it to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And such a tribute, like to everything you talked about earlier, like for your own family and your brother and just everything that's gone on in this country and the world. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that particular song, our father would have sang to our mum. Yeah, so that's a really special one for
That's
us.
something.
And it always kind of brings. I don't know, even a couple of times there, my breath went. It just brings it back.
Yeah.
And sometimes even to sing and that memory,
Right.
it just it can't help but just kind of a lump in your throat almost.
Right.
So yeah, that's a very special song for us.
And just knowing that they were so deeply in love and connected, like that's is that sort of was that kind of unusual? Would you say among your friends and the families you knew? Was there something with your parents that sounded very magical in a sense?
and so the significance with that song is Mum was 16 when Dad met her.
Oh,
so
wow.
that ties that even more.
Oh,
And
that's wonderful.
I think just because there was that connection and our friends always would have admired, it's fun. Our parents were never seen without each other, it was Laurel and Hardy, you never saw one without the other. And they were actually quite funny as well. But I think a lot of, our friends got that connection. They understood it, and it was always really cool if Laura and Gavin's daddy would sing when they're there, he would start a sing song in the house it was nice that other people could see their bond kind of the way we did.
That's fantastic. Oh gosh, I'm trying to pull myself together.
Don't cry.
Oh gosh, incredible. And where do you see like in the terms of the newer bands that you're listening to now and the future of Irish music, like maintaining the richness of the traditional and everything you're doing with fusing it with funk and American folk and all of that? Like what's your feeling for the next 5 or 10 or 20 years?
Yeah, I think the future of Irish music is stronger than it's ever been.
I agree.
Even the bands that we spoke about there, the Furies, the Dubliners, the Chieftains, they were all very popular in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
But things had went quiet there for a while. But just these past couple of years, there are a couple of fantastic bands. One being Amble, and the other's Kingfisher.
Okay.
And I think they've been at the forefront of the next generation and bringing folk and Irish traditional music into what I'm trying to say, they've brought it kind of just into the mainstream, because even with those other bands and fad and truck music, it's always kind of sat behind maybe pop music, country music, but these guys have brought it very much just into the kind of the mainstream, which people are listening to. And I think it's a testament to those guys as artists and bands, but also Ireland as a nation and a country, and where we're going. And speaking about the Festival of Ireland being in Belfast,
that's so
this
exciting.
year, which is fantastic. The Fleadh Cheoil na hÉireann, which translates to the Festival of Ireland. It's something that has been going since 1951, and it has been based each year. One city gets selected, and just due to the troubles and the background and the history here in the north, it was never safe. And this year it's been the first year in 75 years it's been selected. So that is kind of testament in itself of how far we have come. Which is why the songs that we have written, we have the first album that we have is called Planet Ireland.
Oh, that's so exciting. Tell us about that.
So Planet Ireland, basically, one of the reasons we come up with that title because we kind of feel Ireland, there's so many exiled children and people from Ireland all around the world. And kind of we felt that Ireland in itself is a planet of its own. And
it's so true.
And within that, the kind of the subtitle almost we have kind of came up with is From Division to Celebration. Which again is about what we have went through as a nation, what we've went through as a country, what we've went through as people, just from the troubles to the Fleadh Cheoil na hÉireann and the celebration and the togetherness and the collectiveness of all communities. We feel kind of Belfast, Ireland, the north of Ireland, Northern Ireland has become very multicultural and became one. And I think that is only going in that one direction. And we feel that music is one of the things that have bonded everyone together. And it's something we're excited to be a part of. And it's something that we're excited to be kind of enjoying ourselves and kind of being able to be a part of it in a sense that we're going to sing the lyrics that we have written and just be a part of, really.
What was that reaction like for the two of you and the band and Belfast in general? Like when did you get that announcement and how did it explode over the internet or airwaves?
I think the announcement for the festival coming to Belfast, I think it was maybe around 6 to 8 months ago, and it has exploded completely, which I think even the organisers and the local councils are shocked at, because we didn't realise we would get this reaction because everyone, really Belfast, previously, but I think now the figures coming out and from the information from kind of the hotels in the city and everything, they're anticipating 1 million people are going to land in Belfast this August for the festival, and what it will be is 7 days of 24/7 music, dance, storytelling everywhere, and they've got license for performers on the street, performers in the bars, and they're going to and in the middle of that there's also the competitions. So they have competitions for traditional musicians and traditional dancers, and so it's celebrating all thing arts, and a wonderful thing that I think again is testament to how far we have journeyed, from the start of the Troubles, is that the Festival of Ireland is not just going to be traditional Irish music. So there's actually, they're bringing in the Belfast Mela, which would be, it's an organisation who brings people together from, you know, Southeast Asia and, you know, all their traditions and their dance. So they're incorporating those in to have, you know, to have segments and shows for them and the kind of the Loyalist Orange traditions, you know, they're fantastic musicians who come out in their band parades every year. And that's part of the tapestry of Ireland. And it's lovely because the Fleadh organisers, absolutely everyone come along, because it's not just people playing the fiddle or the banjo in a small bar. It's all of us, because we're a patchwork quilt now, and that's the tapestry is so important in the history, and I think we're just really excited to be part of that little stamp in history.
It's huge. Oh my! And where will you? I passed by the Dirty Onion the other day.
Oh yes,
where you played
there we go.
Yeah, the Keys go right.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really fun. So where do you physically see yourself in where you're going to be performing during that time? Lots of places.
There'll be there's going to be a lot of venues, and we're hoping to get the song that we have written a song in celebration of this festival coming, and it very much highlights kind of, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what class or creed, you're one of us. You know,
that's amazing.
You'll come from far and wide, but you're one of us. And this week, you're part of our culture. You share yours and we'll share ours. Right. And so we've written what we think is a wonderful song, and we're hoping that, you know, even though we're not competitors, and you know, we'll be doing our events around the city, we're hoping that our song will be able to reach a big audience to kind of welcome everybody.
Absolutely.
So we're hoping, you know, that it'll maybe be, you know, part of the council celebrations or.
And we follow the session down the narrow alleyways, the din of the dance echoed off the stone, the heart of our nation beating in celebration when the All-Ireland flag came home. All the lovers of hÉireann, the exiled children came to join us for 1 week or more. They say the pipes are calling as we all join hands on the key for the reels and the jigs of our country, and a song in a minor key, and the boras beat in the distance, and the waves are crashing on the shore, and I long to be in a Kelly, and the Kelly is calling me home. They brought the All-Ireland to Belfast, and I've never been so proud of this town. The fiddles were ringing, the crowd was all singing, the gentry and gypsies from all around, from the west of the Shannon, the hills of Donegal, from the kingdom and Connacht they all came, and there was neither class nor creed, just a family, and Belfast never looked the same. And the boys from Kerry, they promised to marry before they headed back to Tralee. They say the pipes are calling as we all join hands on the key for the reels and the jigs of our country, and a song in a minor key, and the boras beat in the distance, and the waves are crashing on the shore, and I long
Actually, that's amazing. Like, are you kind of submitting it here and there?
Yep.
Well, we're certainly going to be playing it on back in New Jersey and New York.
Good.
That's so smart. My gosh, it is like art is the great like ambassador. Like culture is a great ambassador to just goodwill and it's humanity, right? We're singing about our stories and our experiences. Like from the greatest depths of sorrow, you've done this. Like, look what you're doing these 20 years later. It's really. It's really amazing. It really is. Oh, I'm going to be following that from the States. That's going to be so much fun to see how it goes. And do you have anything because I know the Fleadh Festival we had one in New York for several years. I don't know if it's still going, but it was in the city and it was mainly music, but there were like artisans and it was incredible, like arts and crafts and jewelry. It was just something on Randall's Island, a really interesting part of the city. But then it stopped, but it was everything, like you're saying. Yeah, that's great. Oh, that's going to be exciting.
And it's great to hear, that there are Irish festivals going on around the world.
I mean, we are, the town next to me, Pearl River, it's 80% Irish.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And you go into all the restaurants, like fancy restaurants and pubs, and it's just like, it's wonderful. Oh. It's really cool. So, so there's a lot of Irish love all over our area. Yeah.
Good. And we just want, I think everyone has the idea, there's almost that, stereotype of the Irish were all leprechauns and we all potato and we all eat potatoes and there's this stereotype.
We all eat potatoes.
We all eat potatoes, but we eat more potatoes than the average person. But it's nice that our culture is able to spread far and wide and grow. As you said, it's more mainstream now than it ever was, and it's even a revival of those old artists who laid the foundation.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You go everywhere, everyone will know Amble, who are here the current big band, but everyone will also know the Dubliners and Paddy Riley.
Yeah.
So it's lovely that kind of it spans generations.
Well, like you said, so you might have the more mainstream, like a Van Morrison, right?
Yes.
So. And he's I can't even tell you how many American movies you hear Van Morrison I love him, but you go to his show or the Chieftains and then it's the way in to more traditional. So at least it's like good responsibility. There's a reason why we gravitate to his voice and his songwriting and all of that. So
he's the gatekeeper. He will guide you in.
I love the Chieftains too. Oh my gosh.
Fabulous.
And literature. I just read, Lucy Caldwell. I've read a lot of her. I don't know if she's Northern Ireland or just Irish.
I think she's Southern. 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 Yeah.
Okay, but I mean. Like actors, like Irish culture is just huge right now. So I'm so excited about this. This is gonna be great. So we're gonna be able to play the song you wrote for the festival. So that's exciting. And I always like to end by asking guests. I find this one of the most interesting questions to ask. What do you reach for when you need some hope?
It might sound so cliche because that's what we've been speaking about, but music. For me. Music. There's one particular song, and it's called "Guiding Light," and it was written by a man also from the north of Ireland. His name is Foy Vance.
Okay.
He's from Bangor in County Down, and his song "Guiding Light" just touches my heart. It kind of makes me feel. It makes me feel. It makes me feel. So that's something that I always turn to. Not just that song, but all music. I also love audiobooks.
Yes.
I love listening to audiobooks. And I love audiobooks in particular where the author is reading.
Absolutely. Yes.
There's one that kind of is my go-to, is called Conversations with God by Neil Donald Waltz.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. So for me, music, that song in particular, Guiding Light, and Conversations with God.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Put that in the show notes. Yes.
Okay.
And for me, I always reach to music, but I always reach to family. And they're my go-to. You know, I think for me, music and family come hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And they're one and the same.
Yeah.
And whether it's listening to Luciano Pavarotti, who was one of Mum's favourites, or it's listening to, Christy Moore or, Paddy Riley and the Dubliners, or it's, as Gavin says, it's the music. There are certain songs that, that grab you, and I sing. I sing a lot for elderly residents, you know, in care homes.
Yeah.
And what I have found and what I've learned is that even when, you know, they're kind of so far gone, maybe with dementia or Alzheimer's, the one thing that brings them back, back to, you know, from the back to the front, is music.
That is so true.
And I find it's the same for me. If I'm having the worst day, there's a song for that.
Absolutely.
You know, or there's a brother for that, or there's a husband for that. You know, there's something, and there's that wee link. So that is testament to the power of music. You know, music for me, I have a soundtrack to my life. Yeah. And a song can bring me to the happiest moments and the saddest moments and the silliest moments.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I reach for.
It's wonderful.
And I hope it continues. And I'm just glad that we've been able to find it again. We've found our voices. Because grief can be physically crippling and paralysing. And we got there.
But to have it bond you to the brother and the mother and father you're missing so deeply, but to look right across and you have your actual voices and that bond with both of your brothers. And I mean, that's it's wonderful that you both have each other in this journey, because it's your histories and then the two of you and your bandmates. That's amazing.
That's it.
Thank you so much for being here and for coming up to visit in I think our new vacation home, Lizzie.
I like this.
Right? Not bad.
We brought the sun for you today.
Okay. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful time at the festival. It's going to be fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to A Bend in the Road. We are so glad you stopped by. Please consider subscribing and sharing with friends. Our thanks to Laura and Gavin for coming up from Belfast to join us in Portrush, Northern Ireland. Learn more about their music on all social media platforms at house.of.gael.band. That's house.of.gael.band. A Bend in the Road from the Ridgewood Public Library is sponsored by the Friends Foundation of the Ridgewood Library and created by a grant from the New Jersey Council for the Humanities, a state partner of the National Endowment for the Humanities. A Bend in the Road is written, hosted, and produced by Roberta Panjwani and created by Roberta Panjwani and Diane Sims. Our assistant producer and editor for this episode is Ryan Subnani. Our technical directors and audio engineers are Ryan Subnani, Matt Giannotti, and me, Elias Rossner. Our videographer in Portrush is Alyssa Panjwani. Our digital media producer is Callie Diamond. Original theme music is written and performed by Diane Sims. Logo and website created by Parker Gatimus. That's it for today. We hope that you enjoyed our show. We'll see you again after the next Bend in the Road.